Barely.
You are good to go.
Not hearing him.
I don't hear anything now.
No, neither do I.
Now I can hear you.
Very
A
faint.
little bit.
Okay. So as long as everyone can hear me, we've got the high sign. So it is after 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order for this night. And let's see, first on the agenda is our roll call. Whoa, nope, I'm sorry. We've got additions or deletions to the agenda. And I believe Sarah sent out an addition. So we'd entertain a motion for that.
Move to accept the addition to the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have motions for it. Any comments, questions? And just for the general public that hasn't seen it yet, that is concerning the resignation tendered by Nick Piccolo. Hearing no comments or questions, I think first we need to, that was a motion to accept the communications, correct?
No.
And then
This
we need a
was a
second
motion.
motion to
This was a motion
accept
to
his
amend the-
resignation.
This was a motion to amend the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, yes. So we'll do it in 3 steps then, I think.
Yep. Need to vote
So,
on
all
that.
in favor, Sarah, if you'd please take the tally the vote on that one.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Vice Mayor Harrington, will you start, please?
Yes.
Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Commissioner Piccolo?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl?
Yes.
And Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That motion is passed. So now I guess we will go to the roll call. We have an amended agenda. We'll go to the roll call. Sarah, if you would call the roll, please.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Allman?
Yes, in Alma, Michigan.
Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes, Alma, Michigan.
Mayor Mapes?
Yes, from Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Piccolo?
Yes. Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes, Alma, Michigan.
And Commissioner Stahl?
Yes, in Alma, Michigan.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. That motion has passed as well. Although I guess the roll has been tallied. Next up is Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, do you have a flag, or Aaron, is one of you going to put up a flag for us?
Yes, I
So
have
if we
that.
can all rise, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. Okay, next up will be entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the November 24th, 2020 regular meeting of the City Commission. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
Okay, Michelle and Roger, are there any comments, questions, corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none. Sarah, would you please tally the vote?
Yes, thank you. Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Commissioner Piccolo?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl?
Yes.
Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sarah, and thank you, everyone. Looks like that motion has passed. So next we'll go to communications, and we have a communication item added to the agenda, which is the resignation of Commissioner Piccolo. So, and Tony, I believe we need 2 separate motions here. One, we'll need to accept the communication or receive it, and then a second one to accept the resignation.
I think you could probably do both at the same time if you wanted to, but you're right, you have to
Both at
do
once?
both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that is anyone's pleasure, we would accept a motion to do both of those things, or whatever else you'd care to.
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion.
Support.
Immediate support?
Yeah, I had a support.
Okay. Thank you. Any comments or questions? Well, we certainly thank Commissioner Piccolo for his service. All right, no further comments or questions. Sarah, if you would.
Should
tally the
that
vote
be
again.
read? Should the letter be read into the minutes?
Oh,
or not?
can.
It could be.
Okay. Probably wouldn't
Pull it
hurt.
up here. Okay, see, the letter is dated December 7th, 2020, addressed to the Alma City Commission. And it says, please accept my resignation from the Alma City Commission effective immediately. I understand my resignation makes me eligible to fill the Alma City Commission position vacancy resulting from the unfortunate passing of Commissioner Larry Mott, according to the Alma City Charter and Michigan law. These are sad and unusual circumstances, but I am requesting that the City Commission consider me as a candidate for the now empty commissionership. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Nicholas Piccolo. And I hope everybody could hear me okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I believe then we did have the motion on the table. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none. Sarah, again, if you would please tally.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington. Yes.
Yes, out of necessity, yes.
And Mayor Mapes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That motion is carried. Okay, so now we will move down to hearings. We need to set a public hearing for Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020 at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda will allow, to consider the proposed pedal trolley ordinance. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? I think we talked a bit about this last time. Okay, hearing no questions, Sarah, if you would please tally this vote, we can set the hearing.
Thank you. Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes,
Mayor Mapes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. We have set the hearing then. Next, we'll move down to G, which is resolutions. The first one is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the 2020 application for certification for the community of Alma to be officially certified as Tree City, USA, having achieved the standards set forth by the Arbor Day Foundation. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
We have motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Been doing this a long time, so trees are good, right? All right, sounds like there's no comments or questions. So Sarah, once again.
Thank
Please.
you. Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
yes,
and Mayor Mapes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That motion is passed as well. Move down to the second resolution, which is a consideration of a resolution to approve a request to transfer locations for Pure Lapeer LLC's medical marijuana facility license from the 224 East Center Street location to 1405 Wright Avenue, also in Alma, obviously. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
I have a motion.
Support.
We have support. Are there any comments or questions or any background from staff?
As we mentioned at the previous meeting when we had to revoke one of the licenses, we did mention that the one in particular on Center Street here, the Pure Lapeer, had closed out everything they needed to do for us and from the state side of things, and they wouldn't be opening that location. They will be they will be requesting this transfer of their license from 224 East Center to the 1405 Wright Avenue. Once that's accomplished, obviously they'll be submitting new documentation for building permit and all the required information down to state for the different trades and building that facility out to open their provisioning center there in that location for medical marijuana.
Where's the first question?
And Eric, I think that's the old Pizza Hut location where they're moving to.
That's correct.
And they were in more of a residential area, so this is probably a little more conducive to the business that they're going to be in, I would think.
Yeah, it's right next door to the one that's actually located basically on Wright Avenue. So they'll be right next to each other, neighbors.
Okay,
Eric,
there's
does
no
this
further
entail
comments or
a,
questions? Whoops, Matt,
does
go
this
ahead.
entail the additional fee for us for the next year also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They'll be, obviously we're coming up on the new year, and they would be paying a new fee for this new location. Yep.
And then Eric, is there a timeline for them to be up and running in that new location?
Nope, because they've met their initial.
They met the other
requirement.
stands. Okay.
Yep, they've met that initial requirement. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, now I'll once again turn to Sarah.
Thank
Please
you.
take the vote.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Mayor Mapes. Sorry,
Yes,
Mayor
I'm sorry.
Mayor Mapes, thank you.
Yes.
And Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, that motion is passed as well. Next up, consideration of the introduction of an ordinance number 818, pedal trolley ordinance to allow for the licensure of pedicabs, I guess it is, in the city of Alma and regulation under police power of the city of Alma. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
Motion support. Any comments or questions? Anything from staff for this? We've talked a little bit about this. Seems like a pretty cool idea.
We'll hold the public hearing on the rest of it at our next meeting, but it works like if you've been in this one is actually drafted upon Frankenmuth's ordinance, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo all have these. Of the communities, it looks like we'll be right there along with Frankenmuth. Frankenmuth's about our size population wise. But we have an individual that's interested in pursuing this, and this is the way that we can provide that to him.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
And this is just the introduction of the ordinance, which would fit nicely with the public hearing at the next, at the next commission meeting.
They thought ahead, didn't they?
They did.
Hearing no further comments, we'll go ahead and move to the vote on this one. Sarah, if you would, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Mayor Mapes,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
and Commissioner Stahl.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sarah, that motion is passed as well. Moving down to reports, we have four reports to receive tonight. Alma Transit, November 2020 report, the building permits report for October and November of 2020, the Alma Police Department, November 2020, and the city manager's December 4th, 2020 report. Anybody can pull any of those if they want to for further consideration or explanation, or we can approve them all with one motion. So your pleasure. Does anybody want to submit a motion?
I couldn't get, Matt, would you like yours pulled? I mean, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I'll get it in comments, those areas that we could talk about. So if there's anything, that's fine. Thank you.
I move to approval.
Support.
Motion to, I believe it's to receive, is what you said, Michelle?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yes, okay. So we had a motion to receive. Any comments or questions from anyone else? Going 3 times. Okay, Sarah.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Mayor Mapes,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
And Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That motion passed as well. So we have received reports. Appointments, consideration of a resolution to appoint a city commissioner as a representative on behalf of the city to the Transportation Committee.
Move to approve.
Support. Is this just nominating that we're going to put someone on there? This isn't picking someone?
Not sure if I guess I didn't have a chance to talk with anybody ahead of time on this one. If we were going to, is the expectation to have a name submitted tonight?
If we could get a nomination, that would be really, that would be advantageous for everybody. I hope somebody has interest.
Me?
That works out well because I think you were already on a committee for transportation, weren't you, Audra?
Yep.
That was, I think, probably our hope that you would continue on that. So
Right.
got a good background on it.
Okay, then I'll make my motion the approval of someone, specifically Audra, on the Transportation Committee.
Support.
Are there any comments or questions? Too late for you to change your mind, Audrey. You already raised your hand. So with that, Sarah, if you go ahead, we'll vote on the appointment.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl?
Yes.
Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And congratulations, Audra. And most importantly, thank you, Audra. I'm sure what you're looking for is a few extra meetings to go to and some extra work to do.
Hey, it's one of my favorite topics, so
Oh, there you go.
excited.
Okay, next up, we have we'll consider a resolution to appoint to fill the vacancy in the commission pursuant to section 2.7 of the Alma City Charter.
Do we make the motion specifically or just to consider?
I believe we are looking for the individual
motion.
again.
That's correct.
Okay, I would nominate Nick or make my motion to ask Nick to fill the position.
Any
I'm
particular
sorry,
Nick?
I don't know how to word it, Sarah.
Is there a certain Nick you wanted or just any Nick?
We lost her.
She froze.
Yeah, she looks frozen.
Does she
My
look
joke
like
my
you
joke
all
was that bad.
I don't know how to word it either, but I'll figure it out. I understand what we're
Okay.
doing here.
I just want to appoint Nick back on.
Well,
If that's however we say it.
Let's use first and last name though, just to be official.
Nicholas Piccolo.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
I second.
Support.
Motion and lots of support. Or is there any other nominations? Hearing none. Sarah, if you'd please go ahead and tally the vote.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl?
Yes.
Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes.
Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to Nick.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Nick.
Welcome back to the island.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, we do appreciate your talents. Okay, so next, if I can turn the page. It's harder than it looks. Apparently, appropriations. Is there anyone interested in paying the bills?
Move to pay the appropriations.
Support.
Motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Anybody want to know anything further about what we're paying? Okay, hearing none. Sarah, if you would please, one at least another time. It'll be more than that.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl?
Yes.
Commissioner Allman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington?
Yes.
And Mayor Mapes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you all for paying the bills. Now we'll go to commissioner comments. Roger, you are the next one on my screen, so would you please go first?
Other than congratulations and thanks to Nick to step up to do that, that I think worked out well for all of us, that we got Nick back on as well. So it's too bad it took something like Larry's death to precipitate that, but we're glad to have Nick fill in another term on that too. So other than that, I don't think I really have anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. And Audra, I have you next in line.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Can't think of a whole lot going on. We do have our annual Shop with a Hero event coming up this Saturday. It's going to look a little different. It's going to be a drive-through event. So we have shopped ahead of time for the kids, and we're giving them some gift cards. We'll have some local heroes there on hand to hand the gifts out or put them in their trunk to keep everybody safe. So it's going to look a little different. We're going to really be missing Larry for the event. He's been our Santa Claus for a long time, and he was supposed to be there waving at the kids out the window. So we'll definitely recognize his loss this weekend, but looking forward to the event and at least helping some kids out. So that's about all we've got going on right now at Child Advocacy.
Audra, when is your new building opening?
Well, we've moved in, but when we'll open the doors to the public, I'm not sure, just because of everything that's going on. We are doing right now a drive up or drive through baby pantry. So people call us if they've got needs, and we take things out to the car. And then we still are doing the forensic interviews with law enforcement for kids that have been abused. So though, that's been business as usual all through COVID, because obviously, that doesn't take a break. So, but other than that, yeah, we're still not open to the public, but doing the best we can.
Good. Congratulations on being in your new building anyway.
Thank you. Yeah, we absolutely love it. It's amazing. So thank you.
Hey, thank you. And Roxanne.
Thanks to Nick, and nothing else to add. Be safe. Take care.
Thank you. Michelle.
Again, thanks to Nick. Maybe someday I'll be able to sit next to him and interrupt his comments again, like I normally do. I think during this time, we really need to come together as a city and as a county to get out and support the local restaurants for takeout. On Facebook, there's a page called Gratiot County Takeout, and I did a post yesterday asking everybody to do Takeout Thursdays, because I know the Methodist Church does Takeout Tuesday, which is a good success. So they've been helping businesses. So I did mine on Thursday. And so I'd just like everybody to get out and grab breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, groceries at Hellman's or Siler's to help our local community during this season. If we can get a couple thousand people out and about on Thursday, that would be great for our community. So just encourage all of you and everybody that you know to go out for dinner on Thursday or lunch. So other than that, everybody have a great weekend, and there are beautiful lights all through the city of Alma. So check out, I think I went through every street in Alma, or I looked down every street to see if there were lights, but there's a lot of great lights out. So thanks to everybody who put those up. It was nice to see. That's all.
Hey, thank you, Michelle. Great idea. Nick, as our newest commissioner.
Well, I don't know that Nick is qualified as a commissioner.
Oh, he's not? Okay. Well, I guess Dan probably isn't either then officially yet, right?
That's correct. They certainly could speak in public comment if they wanted.
Okay, so we'll go next to public comments, I guess. My comments, I don't have much to echo beyond what everyone else already said. I'm really pleased to hear that, Audra, you're able to go ahead with that Shop with a Hero. I kind of assumed it was going to be gone this year, that you weren't going to be able to do it, but I'm glad you found a way to do it. And so nice work. We'll open it to the public at this point. If you would care to speak, just identify yourself by name and address.
Was the city manager going to say something?
Oh, I'm sorry. City manager. Yes. I was skipping over the most important guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I just wanted to touch on a couple things. Actually, they were in the newsletter, but I think it's easier to bring them up through here. first of all, is just an update of where we're at, staff wise and how we're dealing with as things continue to change with COVID. I think we've discussed this before, but our philosophy here is if the businesses are open, everybody's trying to make it. We feel we have an obligation to stay open to the public as much as we possibly can in a safe manner with our people. And so we made some adjustments again this week, like we've been doing for, it seems like forever. We have had a case that actually affected us where we closed the library last week. The library was closed based on contact tracing. And I think as in everybody's business, that's what's really starting to affect everyone. The contact tracing reaches out far. We made some, we've done some things that we've put together to try and simplify. The hard part is when we talk about this and it's how do you plan for this? Really, especially an organization that has so many different departments, it's hard to plan and say, if A happens, we'll do B. So we're taking every precaution we can, but we look at every instance on its own and make the decisions from there. We have had 3 positive employees over the course of the whole COVID that we've worked our way through. 2 of them are back to work already and everything's been fine, thankfully, that we have that. We have had 6 folks so far that have been affected by contact tracing. And we have been starting to work with the health department on reportings on those. So we'll continue down that and anything we need to change going forward. There are a couple things that they are looking at, some different exemptions, and I think is really important. There is some legislation being looked at right now that would change that essential worker to include water and wastewater. I think one of the hard parts and Dave, I can see his eyes right now. It's like, don't even bring it up because we're on pins and needles all the time as to how we can continue to maintain really small workforces. And you guys have done a great job of how we've handled that so far. So there is some legislation that's being pushed forward to make some changes that those folks would be considered essential, as I sure believe they should be, so that we can say you got to work during this and we'll figure out ways to isolate and do some other things. So hopefully that keeps getting pushed forward. We were at this point in time able to spend out of the $80,900 about $80,100. So we're pretty close on the grant for the CRLGG. Happy to say, as we're getting to this point, as we're looking at the contact tracing becoming more, it's affecting us more and more. Within the next couple of weeks, we should have a really good base of everybody being able to work from home that needs to work from home. And we won't be cobbling things together, but actually have them set. And then one of the other things is that security issue that we are concerned about. That's going to take place, Aaron Craig, I believe it's the 21st that we will have the new Cisco firewall that will be installed, which will really up our security. And the biggest thing is allow us then to actually work in numbers from home if need be. Right now, if you're working from home, it's a little clunky if you get more than a couple people having on the same time on the network. So this will help that, plus really boost our security. So the Headley proposal, Proposal A reform bill that's been introduced by MML. I think this has been a talk. Greg, I know you talk about the MML Finance Committee. This has been a talk for years and years and years. Maybe the fact of the crisis that we're in right now will get people to actually start to look that we've got to make some adjustments, folks. We've got to do some things for us to survive as municipalities, and it's essential. So I'm hoping that this is a push that gets us going in that direction here. Just to go back to COVID real quick, I apologize. The one thing that we're having to deal with that we're not sure what's going to happen. As you know, the FFCRA portion of the CARES Act is going to expire December 31st. And realistically, at this point right now, because we're taking CARES Act money, we are under an obligation to make sure that everybody, and you folks approved way back in March, the 80 hours of emergency sick time that people are allowed to use here in the city. If that something doesn't change and it does not exist come the first of the year, we're going to have to probably revisit some of that and talk about that and making sure that we're still taking care of our employees, but it may be coming out of their own sick bank at that point in time. And we want to make sure that we're giving them some heads up ahead of time so they understand that too. But as of right now, when we're taking CARES Act money, which we sure will, we are obligated then to that 80 hours for them. Luckily, we haven't had a whole ton of it having to be used, but I want to make sure that when we get to that end of the line here, December 31st, we'll have some plans. So we'll be working on that for the next meeting, just so you know that.
Is that it, Matt?
Yeah, that was just dramatic pause, I guess. Yeah, that was
okay.
it. I did want to give one shout out though. I want to
Kind of
shout
forgot
out Charles Chapman down at Brave Hearts. I think to continue his tree thing this year was pretty cool. I mean, he could have just said, not doing that this year. We've got so many things. And I think that's pretty neat that he continued his tree giveaway and some honor, some folks donated in honor of Larry. And so it was nice. I know he gave the last one away here early this morning. So thanks to him for continuing that during these times. That's it for real, Greg.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize for skipping you and Tony and Sarah. So Sarah, did you have any comments you'd like to add?
I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Tony, Mr. Attorney.
I'll just echo what everybody said. I thank Nick for taking on the added responsibility and signing up again. And with Charles too, I've seen that in action. He's next door over here, and that is a great thing. And especially to honor Larry. It's perfect. Christmas season, Larry's the first person you think of.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Very good. Hey, thank you. I guess the only other thing I wanted to mention, there's some great opportunities. This is, the holiday season, time of giving. There's lots of need out there, both, I'm sure the Salvation Army and a number of other charities. And if you're looking for things, I know the couple things I've been reading about lately or heard a little bit more about was, and even involved in some of it, there's 3 different kind of artsy projects going on. The Strand is putting in all new seating. I believe they're still looking for some donations to top off the payments on that project. I believe the Art Center has a remodeling project ongoing, as well as the mural project that's going to go on the side of the Art Center. So I was fortunate enough to sit on a committee for that. I believe Michelle's on it as well. And an exciting project. It's going to be really cool. So while you're giving this season, while you're writing your checks, there's 3 different opportunities for you. So with that, I'd like to open up to the public. If any members of the public would like to address the commission, please let us know. Nick.
Just want to thank everybody, and I'm looking forward to working with you. I missed you while I was gone. So
Yes, and we missed you as well.
You probably went and had a nap.
I didn't have to leave.
No. Dan, I know you're public, but did you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Nick, and then just to echo what Michelle said, I think a lot of the local businesses and a lot of the restaurants especially are really trying to think a little bit outside the box too. So there's things like take and bakes and drinks to go and things like that they're now providing that they haven't in the past to kind of offset some of their deficiencies in other areas. So even if you're not a person that goes out and likes to eat out or eat fast food or something like that, there's a lot of other avenues where you can grab something and take it home or grab meals for a couple nights.
There are a lot of good options out there. And you can just go online and look up the menus. It's really handy.
One of the areas when I've talked to a couple of the business downtown, it is lunch. Michelle, you hit that on that. It's lunch. Dinner's hard enough, but the lunch crowd has really kind of dwindled to a crawl for everybody because we're not thinking that way. We're not thinking at lunch because now we're stuck back in our offices and doing things. But if we could do some things, with your business, with we in here, getting some folks together to do some of that lunch business to make sure some of those guys are getting through their lunch crowd would be really nice to see.
Good point. And I haven't done it myself, but I've heard that Uber Eats, there's some participation local in that. I know we just run down and pick ours up, but does anybody know anything about the Uber Eats?
I haven't heard about Uber Eats, but we do have DoorDash now.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. I'm not an expert there.
DoorDash, yes. I haven't used any of these. I am both a DoorDash and an Uber driver, but in this pandemic, I'm not about to go out, but I keep getting notifications from them. Uber Eats, I don't think is active in Gratiot County yet, but the DoorDash certainly is.
DoorDash is a possibility then.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And I think I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. It's also nice to support the local businesses by buying someone else's meal. So Jeff and I have done this a few times. We've bought breakfast for commercial bank staff, and we helped out with the hospital workers from our agency collecting money last week. And so give that money to the downtown business, and then they feed other people. So it's a nice way to give back too to the local business. So just an idea, if you work with a group of people, easy to collect $5 from everybody and give that to a downtown business. So just a thought.
Great idea. Is there anybody else has comments? Hey, hearing none, with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support. Sarah, one final time, if you would please.
Yes, happy to. Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Stahl,
Yes.
Commissioner Allman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
and Mayor Mapes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, then we stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a
Good to
great
see you.